This is Rogers TV.
Hello everyone, my name is Scott Davey. I'm running for re-election for Ward 1 in the City of Kitchener. I'd just like to start by saying thank you to Rogers for this opportunity to speak with you, and thank you for tuning in because frankly not enough people are engaged in the municipal level of politics, so thank you for paying attention, appreciate it. The question, why am I running for council? I don't have very much time to answer, so I could list all the ways that we've been equitably progressive in the City of Kitchener, all the great things we've done, but instead I would just point out the type of person that I am and what I've achieved a little bit. So I'm a person that always focused on efficiency and working collaboratively with my council colleagues and staff. And to that end, Kitchener is one of the most efficient municipalities around. Our tax increases have been 60% lower than other local municipalities. And we've done so in a way where we still are increasing our services and we've been reducing our debt as well. So I'd hope to continue that. Thank you. The key issues I'd like to tackle in my ward, there's two really that I'd like to mention, aside from the general ones that you could see on my website, sdavey.ca. But the first one is really the escalating cost. Inflation is going through the roof, and it's becoming more difficult for you to be able to afford the everyday things you need to make it through the day in life. At the city level, we can't really affect things like inflation, but what we can do is make sure that we keep our costs in check to ensure that the taxes that we pass on to you don't add to your burden. And that's something that we've done for quite a long time. The other issue I would touch upon, really, that I hear when I go door to door, is the issue of speeding on side streets. That's really a big issue depending on where you are. And we've taken a lot of measures, reducing our speed limits to 40 kilometers an hour, which is going to take about the next year or so to fully implement and educate. We've also done all sorts of other things that you can see online if you visit my website. Yes, thank you for that question. That's a really good one because, as everyone's aware, the City of Kitchener is changing quite dramatically with the development and building that's going on. I've always been a believer that the most intensification should always go near the places that we have transit, which is right now near the ion transit stations. So I've long been pushing for higher intensity in the downtown areas where people can get away without having to own a vehicle, which is a tremendous expense that adds to the bottom line, and they can use those extra funds to hopefully afford the apartments and condos that they have there. So that is the way that we absolutely should be progressing. I do want to be careful that we always retain Kitchener's small town feel while we do grow, but my vision's always been to have a dense urban core with lots of amenities, and then to continue things how they are in terms of our suburbs. Thank you. This is probably the thing that we hear most often, and I do struggle with it as a city councillor because, as mentioned, homelessness and affordable housing is almost squarely in the purview of the regional government above me and regional council. But we've actually been helping in tremendous ways. You may have heard of a Better Tent City, which is the small homes that have been moving around. Those have been on city property that we've donated and helped. We've also donated a $2 million parcel of land on Block Line Road to house 41 homes for women that are at risk. We also have in our economic development plan to look forward to adding significant new affordable housing on city lands going forward. While we can't solve this, we really need the regional government and the provincial government to step in. Kitchener, I think, is punching well above its weight in this regard. Yeah, thank you for the question on experience, and I do, as the incumbent, have an edge in that regard. But I would say that I've been on council for 12 years, and my council colleagues have elected me to oversee the Kitchener's budget for the past 11 budgets, and I think that really speaks a lot to the way that I tend to govern. I work collaboratively with those that I agree with and those that I don't, to try and make sure that everyone sort of has their say and moves the city forward in a way that's most importantly affordable, because as I said, we're in very difficult times right now, and I think it's really, really key to have people like me at the table to ensure that we are choosing the options that have the highest value when we do choose to spend.
We've started a lot of good things in Kitchener, and I'd like to keep that going. We're doing some great work with economic development and equity, diversity, and inclusion. There's a lot of good things going on, and I want to continue to be part of that. I feel I've served the citizens of Ward 2 by responding to their concerns and issues. I enjoy doing that and want to keep doing that for 4 more years. Well, in Ward 2 and across the city, we're seeing affordable housing as an issue. And as a city, it's not in our jurisdiction to build or run affordable or supportive housing, but there are things we can do, like provide land or incentives for that. We did that with the YWCA supportive housing complex at Bleems and Blockline Road. And I just find that it's important for us as a city to be caring and inclusive and do what we can to help with affordable housing. Well, as a city, we need to have a lot of housing options. We have a program called Housing for All. And we need to have housing options that are all along the housing continuum, from the lowest of affordable housing to the missing middle, to condo options, to everything. We have built an LRT. It's a great place to intensify, building up, save space. We want to watch our urban sprawl, definitely protect the countryside line. So we have to be smart in that, in building up, building options for people, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, studio apartments. We have to give options for all and try to supply housing and encourage development along the housing continuum. Well, Kitchener has been a great partner already with a Better Tent City. It's Kitchener that has supplied the land use for a Better Tent City on Ardelt Avenue. We've supplied water, we've supplied hydro, and other in-kind services. So while we can't build it or run it, we can certainly help with it. When it comes to homelessness and encampments, I feel that we'll work together with the region of Waterloo. They want to sanction encampments, and I believe that can be in a safe place and be helpful to those who are in need of housing, but be respectful to those in the surrounding neighborhood as well. I believe I'm a positive guy. I'm a collaborator. I listen. I try and seek balance. I'm not coming in here to get my agenda put across. As I've always stated, my pledge is to listen, respond to concerns, get actions and answers on that. I can't always promise I'll get the result that you want, but you'll get an informed answer and you'll get a response for sure. I feel around the council horseshoe, it's teamwork. We can't do anything individually. We have to work as a team. There are differences of opinion, of course, but I think that helps shape the decisions that council makes into the best ones possible. So I believe in collaboration. I believe in positivity. I definitely believe in listening.
Because I was asked to. I've done a lot of fighting through the years for people with disabilities, and seniors have made great changes behind the scenes. So I was asked to run so I could help more people.
So the reason I decided to run for Ward 3 City Council, and this is going to sound cliche, I care. I work in Ward 3, I live in Ward 3, my girls go to school in Ward 3, and my in-laws, who are seniors, live in Ward 3. And so, for obvious reasons, it's of the utmost importance to me to ensure that Ward 3 has the councillor will speak for all levels of ages in our ward. Beyond that, I'm an advocate for those voices who are unheard, or for those who are afraid to speak up. This ward needs a councillor who believes in fiscal responsibility, but also not afraid to hold others accountable when they place their wants first instead of needs. I will be accountable and transparent. On October 24th, vote for Jason Deneau, www.votedeneau3.ca.
I'm running for City Council in Ward 3. It's my home ward. I've lived here for about 50 years, and I love my community, love my city. I'm a big community supporter. In fact, I've sat on many boards locally, different not-for-profit charitable organizations, and helped to raise a lot of funds for our community. And I just love the fact that our community always gives back. Neighbors helping neighbors. I am at a time in my life right now where I feel I can contribute to that in a different way than I have previously. I look forward to being your voice in Ward 3. I want to know what your issues are. I know a few of the things that I'd like to focus on. Certainly our housing issues that we've got facing us, our food insecurities, our responsible growth and development moving forward. And I just hope that I can be your voice in Ward 3 this fall on October 24th.
Affordable housing and safety. Number one is affordable housing and winter maintenance. But affordable housing, we have some, 15 people to a 2-bedroom apartment, and people living in tents, and it's inhumane.
So I've been knocking on doors for the last couple of weeks, and beyond the obvious of lack of affordable housing, which is across the whole region, issues in Ward 3 that have been pointed out to me are speeding down various roads where there used to be traffic calmers, and there are no more speed bumps or traffic calmers, as you say. Absent landlords or / homeowners, and why people are concerned about this is because the amount of rentals that are now coming into our community, the renters, they may not keep with the uptake of their lawns or their flowers or the area in around their homes. And so many concerned neighbors who have lived in our area for 40, 50 years are bringing this up to me at the door. Another one that has been talked about is the redevelopment of Wilson Park and the removal of all those big trees and mature trees.
Ward 3 is a very diversified ward. We have a great mixture of housing and ethnicities within our ward. We're very lucky that way. However, with that, we do see tend to see different issues arising. Certainly in the Kingsdale Vanier area, we have a lot more immigrants here, a lot lower income housing and lower income economic needs, which causes for food insecurity. So I would certainly like to make sure that no one goes hungry and no one goes homeless. In doing so, we could work together with a variety of governments and other organizations in town to try and overcome some of those. I know in our Deer Ridge and Hidden Valley areas of our neighborhood, they look at some other things perhaps as issues, being environment and growth and development, and needing to take a look at how we can sustainably and responsibly look to move forward into the future.
I think we need to reach out to all levels of government, and we all need to meet with each other and discuss these issues in person, and have meetings with the townspeople, with our ward, and let them give us some ideas too, right, to help out.
Right. So as far as intensification within the city, the city plays a vital role in making sure that the needs of the community are met, but also the buildings that are being put up also reflect the community in which they are being put up. We also have to hold developers responsible for building appropriate housing, affordable housing for all various levels, low income, middle income, and higher income. As far as intensification, the benefits that arise from actually having an intensification program or project are far greater than any urban sprawl that you may see some people wanting to do. Intensification, that's why we built the LRT, is to get people around the city to build our core back up to what it used to be.
We're very fortunate as citizens of the City of Kitchener in that our City Council currently has taken the bull by the horn, so to speak, and has created some organizations to look at housing issues and those insecurities surrounding that. We need to continue furthering those developments and talks and get things up and running. I know we are also very fortunate that we have had some funding promised to us from the federal government, which should work to our favor, hopefully. And just looking at all of those items and continuing to move forward, I want to look at some proactive sustainable solutions versus being reactive all of the time. We know that this issue is not going away. We know that we all have to work together. We've got to come up with some strategies which will help to improve the issues that are facing our community currently.
I think we need more help, right, with agencies or just coming together as City Council to reach out to these people and get them the help that they need.
The homelessness issue that we have across our region is not isolated to this area, but we need to look at the root cause of the issues. Lack of affordable housing, job loss, addiction, mental health, childhood trauma. These are all factors to where people end up not living on the street. And so we have to provide the resources, community supports, nursing, counseling, addiction treatments to the people, to these individuals. We have to bring it to them as opposed to expecting them to bring it to us. And so while it is a regional issue, I believe the city plays an important part of looking for more affordable housing for all of our citizens, those who live in tents and those who don't.
Homelessness and encampments are certainly not something that is just unique to our region or to our city. Looking right at our capital, a number of their shelter systems that they have in place are right downtown. So we do see that the needs of individuals that are facing homelessness, whether it is just through the housing crisis, not having enough low-income housings or geared-to-income housing. Perhaps there's mental health issues or addiction issues. These are all things that make people homeless. People don't typically want to be homeless. There's reasons for that. We as a city need to certainly be empathetic, but we also need to look at ways that we can help these citizens. They are vulnerable, they are needy, and certainly some of the issues that have faced us with these encampments continue to sort of put, I guess, that rough spot on the city. However, working together with our community partners and social services, as we have been doing and continue to do more of, I think would be in our best interest.
I'm a strong advocate. I have been fighting all my life for the rights of people, especially the disabled and the seniors. And I just really, I don't stop till they get what they need. So I have a very strong voice for the people.
So I've worked in healthcare for over 20 years. During that time, I was a union workplace rep while also the chair. I've been able to sit down with MPPs and MPs advocating for improvements in our long-term care sector, fighting for a pharmacare program across the country, fighting for a national child care program. And so I have the ability to sit down with others who may not agree with me, but be able to have a conversation and try to figure out how we can improve the lives of just not my community, but overall everybody in the city, everybody in the region. And so, you know, sitting down with an MPP and MP is not an easy task, but we have to remember, and I always remember, we're just, you know, people with a title. That's all we are. And I will always go back to that. I'm just a person with a title. Thank you.
I believe that a lot of the benefits that I could bring to the constituents are, one, that I've been a lifelong resident of Kitchener and of Ward 3. I've seen a lot of changes and growth throughout my time here. I do come from a business background first. I spent many years in business, communications, marketing. As I mentioned, sat on a lot of boards, so I have been privy and have experience looking at how to do capital campaigns, looking at how to read financial statements, how to work within a board as a team player, but also looking at strategies that are maybe outside the box thinking. I recently, within the last 10 years, have been teaching, and that certainly has also given me a lot of qualities, since the nature of my job is somewhat having great flexibility, dealing with a lot of different ethnicities, also dealing with just a wide variety of personalities and people and their styles, learning how to coordinate and complement them to reach all of our strengths, I think, is something that would be beneficial to the residents of Ward 3 and City of Kitchener.
My name is Ali Akbar. I am a professional and an entrepreneur. With my experience, I feel that I have the best skills and tools to run and represent the Kitchener Ward 4.
I'm running for council because I am a lifelong resident of Kitchener, and I believe it's the people that make the city, which is what I love so much about Kitchener. I love the fact that we have such a caring and inclusive communities for our city this size. And it's the municipal government level that I know that I can serve citizens best.
The key issue in Kitchener Ward 4 are community safety, Then we have increasing residential property taxes. Then we have less parks compared to the other area of the city, including no dog leash park in the area. We don't have the access to the community services like sport complexes and then public swimming pools. If I elected, I will be working with the council, with the city, to bring these amenities in the neighborhood.
The key issue in Ward 4, I think it's right across the city, but particularly Ward 4, is speed and traffic, bad drivers. This has been ongoing in the 4 years that I have been council. It's disheartening to get so many calls from residents that, fear for their kids going to school, traffic safety, speed of cars, even pulling out of their driveways, they aren't feeling safe. So I will target more than we have. The city's done a great job. I should preface that by saying the city's done a great job of managing speed through traffic control. I am going to really push for automated speed enforcement in every school zone and 30 kilometers.
Answer to this question would be if I elected, I will ensure that we have a balanced approach between developing and keeping the character of the city alive. In terms of homeless, it has been steadily increasing over the few years. Recently, Justin Trudeau visited and he announces $2 billion for the housing unit, affordable housing units nationally, and I hope we will get $1 million for our regions, but that would be a long term solution. But to deal with the short term, we have to work together with region and city to set up a system in place to secure these.
When it comes to development, it should be responsible development. Intensification is what the city's doing already, building up instead of out and protecting the countryside line. And when it comes to providing more housing, that is absolutely necessary. We have to focus on, I think, affordable housing units in new developments. That would be 30% of a person's income. I think we're falling short on that. And I think that would certainly help with the affordable housing crisis that we're in.
This is a very burning issue nowadays with this homelessness in the region. If I would elect, I would be lobbying with my colleagues to make sure that we advocate for different projects for short-term and mid-term, not limited but to develop their shelter for these people, but also will look for the very short-term solutions like renting out some multi-dwelling and make sure that everyone has a roof over their head before this winter.
Well, the city is the partner in the homelessness and encampment issues in Kitchener. We have a very strong staff force right now at Victoria Park, working 24/7 around there to ensure that the citizens around the encampment and the people in the encampment are safe. You're correct in saying that it is a regional responsibility, but I think it takes an entire community to solve this problem, and all levels of government. And I think we need to continue to put more pressure on the province and the federal government for support, more supports for people living homelessness and for mental health and addiction services.
By profession, I'm a telecom engineer, construction project manager, and I've been doing project to build 5G infrastructure throughout the Southern Ontario. With this opportunity, I came across and have an interaction with a lot of the utility companies and local city and municipalities to close my project. I will utilize this experience as well as my project management skills to make sure that we are using the right tools and doing thorough studies for the issues and concerns to address our priority problems in the area.
I'm passionate about the well-being of citizens in our community. With over 3 decades of community involvement, professional business and nonprofit experience, and a strong background in communications, I will continue to be an active, strong, fair voice for the constituents of Ward 4.
So there's a story that's really shaped my life. So when I started working with those with developmental disabilities, I would reserve my Friday nights to cook meals. And when I was newly married, I brought my partner along with me, and we would cook things from my grandmother's cookbook. And one night we cooked lasagna, and my partners from Newfoundland, so we had a bit of a kitchen party. So there was a dance happening, and we cleared the tables. And the person that was assisting is a man with autism and Down syndrome. And my partner went up and grabbed his hands and pulled him to the center of the dance floor. And I wasn't sure if he was enjoying it or not. But at the end of the night, his parents came to pick him up to bring him to another event, and he would communicate with his mother through a communication board. And he said to her, I enjoy them much. I am dear to them. And that always struck me, because people at the margins, people that we tend to forget, never really get pulled into the center of discussion and are welcomed. And I think that's why I want to get involved in municipal politics, why I have been involved in community-driven efforts. How do we recognize those on the margins and bring them into the center?
I'm running for councillor because I want to serve the community, and I think I'm the best person to serve the community and listen to the people, what they want and what their concerns are. And I think I can address the concerns and help them out in every way I can.
Thank you. I want to start out by saying my name is Ayo Owoduni, and it's a great pleasure being here with you. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a business owner. I've run businesses before. I have educational experience, and I get a chance to bring all that to the table. I'm so passionate about serving in my community. Since I've lived in Kitchener over the past few years, I've served on several boards, on several leadership boards, and provided strategic direction in so many different ways. And this is a great opportunity for me to be able to do that in our city as well. Kitchener has been great to me, and this is a great opportunity for me to be able to serve Kitchener as well.
So something that struck me during the pandemic was our disconnection with each other. So one of the things that I think is important, and where everything is rooted in, is our connection with other people. So one of the things I would focus on is, how do we build that social infrastructure? And that social infrastructure is the building of neighborhood associations, the strengthening of neighborhood associations, recognizing community groups and bringing them together in association to have conversations and developing a ward-specific vision that ultimately will tie into a city vision. So that's what I would do. How do we invest in the social infrastructure? And when people are connected, there's subsidiary effects to that. So that's what I would work on.
The key issues are affordable housing, bus school transportation, snow removal issues, garbage issues, disposable issues, park maintenance, and taxes. And other issues are poverty and homeless people, helping them out, and issues, domestic violence, mental care issues in our community, and daycare issues, education issues, healthcare issues, and climate crisis care issues.
So I had a great opportunity to go door to door and speak to several people. The number one thing that kept coming up was speeding. And parents and family members are concerned that their kids are playing outside, and we have this issue where cars are going really, really fast on the local roads. So that is a critical issue that I want to ensure that is immediately tackled. Inflation is at an all-time high, a 40-year high at this point as well. Unfortunately, I don't handle inflation. However, we can do what we can to ensure that our property taxes are not going astronomically at this point. And I want to make sure as well that I build those key relationships with regional council and other stakeholders to ensure that the people in my ward, in Ward 5, their issues and concerns are heard.
What should? Well, I like to look at things in grapes, not apples. So grapes come in clusters. There's many parts of it, and to say should is to impose my opinion on it. I think even when we're talking about affordability, what does that even mean? We have those that are not housed. We have those that are house rich, cash poor. We have those that are renting, those that are seeking to purchase. So it is varied. But in terms of intensification, I think we have the municipal, we have the regional, we have the provincial government. I think focusing on the collaboration between the various governmental sectors, and I think there's a plan laid out. We have determined what our density area should be. So I guess that's it.
I think the city should be very serious on this, because I've seen so many encampments in this city, and providing for the homeless people and providing them shelters too. That's another agenda. They should be really serious and donating, making funds and raising funds for them.
You know, interestingly, when I was going door to door, I had an opportunity to meet a lady who was paying $3,000 just to rent in her home. And you could feel the pain and the pressure as she spoke about that. As a city, we need to start getting more and more creative about how we do this. If I'm elected, one of the key things that I want to ensure is when people are asking for approval, either to turn their bungalows into duplexes, is that something that is possible, and can the city be able to support through that process? Can we provide opportunities for people to be able to build in their backyards? Is there an opportunity for us to be able to build up rather than grow wide? So these are things that we need to start talking about and thinking about as well. I want to ensure I collaborate with the stakeholders to make sure that we get this all sorted out.
I think one of the things we need to do, it could potentially be the reframing of the questions that we're asking. In part of my career has been working with street-involved people, and sometimes the question isn't where do you want to live, but the question is how much autonomy do you want to have? And I think respecting the person and respecting their autonomy, their sense of agency, and let those that are living in that experience help guide the way. So it is a lot of conversations and entering into those spaces and recognizing what are the people that are experiencing that really wanting, and not imposing what we want from the outside, because I believe that's a very top-down approach. I'm very much, let's work with people and build it up together, bottom up.
They should make more shelters for them. That's the main thing. We don't have that many shelters for the homeless people. And even then, maybe we should make affordable housing for them. There's not enough, even if they're starting it, they're still there and they're still fighting legal battles. Like, I read the news every day, and that's why I'm really concerned about this.
You know, it's really sad what we see at Victoria Park, what we see at Victoria and Weber as well. And in a wealthy country like Canada, we need to ensure that we are doing better. When I'm elected into office, one key thing I want to ensure is make sure all the stakeholders that are involved, House of Friendship and all the other different organizations, they're well funded. They have all the resources that they need. And anyone that is ready to step into affordable housing, right now it's 3 to 7 years before you can get into an affordable housing unit. And we need to ensure that we pull that back. So partnering with the provincial government, partnering with the federal government, and with the regional as well, to ensure that the voices of those that don't have a voice are heard. And those are things that I commit to doing.
I always say politics is giving your opinion, so I gave a lot of my opinions here today. But being a councillor is also about governance. So over my time, I've been a minister. So I've had oversight over many congregations. Then from there, I was at United Way, where I was a manager of community development, and I also work with the city with a staff of close to 38 people. So I'm really good at networking and working with larger groups and helping people toward a collective vision. So in terms of governance and inspiring people and bringing people together toward a cause and a solution, I think that's one of the talents that I would bring to being a ward councillor.
I think I'm a very caring person because I'm a personal support worker as well. I graduated with 98% in honors, and I served the elderly at the long-term care in Carter Gardens in Mississauga and Tyndall Estates at the retirement home. I like to deal with people and listening to their concerns and what they want. And they elect me, I'll try my best and listening to them and come up forward and helping them out. And any concerns they have, they can come to me and I will help them out in each and every way I can. And they can rely on me in every way they can.
I have served on boards for many years. I have served in our community for many years. I have grown in this community. I've watched my son, who is 6 years old, and my daughter, who is 3 years old, grow up in this community as well. I bring my educational experience. I bring my knowledge. I bring my exposure from working in different countries here, and I bring my passion. I have seen Kitchener be good to my community, and I want to make sure that I continue that as well.
Okay, to be honest, I am, since I came to Canada about 25, 26 years ago, Kitchener is the only place I've known, and this is the only city I've ever lived. So Kitchener is my home, and I have 3 kids that I'm raising, and my wife. All of us have been living here for all along. I don't know any other city. So I love this city. And I want this city move forward and prosper more than at current speed. So that's why I would like to bring some fresh perspective to move the city forward. And yeah, that is the reason why I'm running. I'm not a career politician. I'm a fresh mind, ready to bring innovative ideas to develop the city further. And I pledge to the Ward 6 voters as well as the Kitchener public, I will walk the talk, not just talk during the campaign, and disappear after a while. I consider myself as a change maker. I will bring better changes to my ward as well as to my city. So,
well, first off, allow me to thank Rogers TV and the moderator for facilitating these questions. Why am I running for council? I've had the great honor of serving the residents of Ward 6 over the last many years, and I continue to hold a great affection and passion for our Ward 6 community. Especially now with post-pandemic, we're now at a pivotal crossroad in Kitchener's history and in deciding the direction and how we move forward as a community. During my time at council, I have shown good leadership in dealing with serious issues when it came to Big Music Fest, the continued geotechnical issues in McLennan Park, when addressing emerald ash borer infestation, which affected over 700 households in Ward 6 alone, and in dealing with termite infestation in the Laurentian Hills neighborhood, and challenging ourselves to finding lasting solutions to resolve that infestation. During the pandemic lockdown, I continue to stay engaged and connected with residents. And now with seriously worrying inflationary issues, I have the sound financial and business background to bring meaningful ideas and suggestions that will limit that impact on our budget and also the ability to deliver good city services. So I feel I have the necessary skills and tools to continue representing Ward 6 residents well.
Okay, key issue seems to be a few, not just one. There are many key, in a sense, many key issues in my ward. There is, of course, the major one is the housing issue, housing crisis, rent, high rent, and almost sometimes impossible to find a place to stay. And people, family, the parents are finding hard time to shelter their kids. That is the main issue. We need to find a new solution to just, moving these homeless people from one place to another weekly or monthly or bi-weekly. It is not resolving our problem. Problem is there. We pretend that it doesn't happen. It just looping. Move from here to another place and there to there, and that is not a solution. We need to find a solution. There are ways to find a solution.
Well, as I've said in my earlier answer, there have been continued issues that we have had to address in Ward 6, some of which are carrying on, like the geotechnical issues in McLennan Park, issues around the bathroom facility, land that's not settling the way we had anticipated, ensuring that the continued amenities within McLennan Park, which is a district park that we should absolutely be proud of, that we continue building upon that park and bringing further amenities that improve the quality and experience for park goers citywide, and more specifically for the ward residents that cherish that park very well. That's one issue. The other is speeding continues to be a very serious issue through McLennan Park. We've had some near misses, very dangerous accidents on Ehrenbrook Road. I responded to that challenge with bringing a motion to council, which is going to require our staff to do a traffic study that will address that speeding issue. So those are some of the issues, but then there are very many other city-wide issues that I will continue on tackling and facing as well.
Recently, our Prime Minister and our the Minister of Diversity and Equity, Mohammed, what is his name? So Ahmed, they came here. They pledged a huge fund for housing, towards the housing, and definitely we can utilize to our advantage. Our city, make sure our city gets it, not because we're taking advantage, because we need it. We have homeless people, and city needs to spend more than its fair share. Whatever I do not know, because I'm not in the system now. The amount the city is spending on housing is not enough. If it was enough, then we would not have that many homeless people on the street. So definitely it proves that whatever we're doing is not adequate, and we need to change it. We need to find a different approach. We can get involved. We can get the region involved and federal involved if needed to resolve the issue. Those are the things we can work on.
Well, thank you for that question. And that's the other issue that we continue to face citywide. And as we face the challenges of growth, our council needs to continue making good choices that ensure expansion is sustainable and benefits all of us, that we have the right mix of housing choices for all. Ensuring affordability across the housing continuum is the important consideration when making difficult decisions in development applications. With innovative ideas which try to foster an environment of collaboration and cooperation with other orders of government and the private sector, and our own hard resolve to allocate the right resources, we can help to foster an environment that promotes strategic and sustainable development of new affordable housing, which will enhance the quality of life for everyone.
We have to do a collaborative, find a collaborative approach. A region, although it is a regional issue, but it is also our issue. And it is also very local issue where I am living, for example. We need to have input from the grassroots people. We need to have region to see what region can do. And again, we need to get city people involved, what we can do, what is the best approach to resolve this unending crisis. Why we're in a cycle of loop and coming. We chase from here and then come somewhere else, and we chase there, and then they go to a different place. Why we are in a loop? That proves that our approach is not working. So we need to find a different approach. So I believe, honestly, I strongly believe that if we go with the collaborative approach, we will find a better solution than what we're in now.
Absolutely. And as I said in my earlier answer as well, partnerships is key. It's not just a provincial issue or a regional issue. It's a city of Kitchener issue. When there are residents within our community that are facing serious challenges to housing, where they see that encampment or camping is the only way of shelter, we need to ensure that that's not their only option. So in whichever avenue we can work with the region to bring forward suggestions, at the same time, bring forward assets that we may have within our city to present options of faster development of shelter housing. That's an avenue that should be explored, but we have to be a strong advocate on behalf of our residents when dealing with other orders of government for whom that is a mandate when it comes to homeless housing. And I think that's where the role that the city of Kitchener needs to continue to play as a strong advocate and as a partner at the table as well.
I have been doing years, really, literally about 14, 15 years of volunteer work. I spent hundreds of thousands of hours volunteering in the community, in this community, not somewhere else. And I know a lot of the things that we do, we think better for them is not really better for them. Them mean people who need help. So we need to get the people from the grassroots involved. They are very people that we're going to help, need to get involved, and we need to have their own input. Okay, what is your need and how can we resolve your issue? We think that this is the best way for you. What do you think? Then, based on their input, combined with ours, when we come with a solution, that is the best solution. I am talking from my own experience, and I have lived in other countries. I have lived here. I have done a lot of things in my life, and life experience I can use. I am a change maker. I have done new things, even in Kitchener. I have done so many new things. We opened a brand new school here. It's called Heritage School or International Language School. The language never existed on this planet anywhere. So if you do really sincerely and then get your community involved in it, in the decision making, and you have a successful solution, and that's what I can bring fresh to the table.
Thank you. I appreciate that question. Again, I've had the privilege of serving Ward 6 residents for the last number of years, which has allowed me to be responsive to serious issues when they came up. That has allowed me to understand the serious needs of the community within Ward 6 and citywide. I have a strong background in business and business development, as well as mortgage finance origination. So, which allows me to understand some of the serious and day-to-day issues that are felt by our residents across the city. And I think those are the skills and tools that will allow me to present sound ideas when it comes to strategic planning, strategic initiatives that decides the course of our city, not just over the next term of council, but over the next 20 years. And that's the skill sets that I can continue to utilize to bring good ideas to the table. And at the same time, in my past experience and role in council, I have been instrumental in bringing suggestions that have limited our tax impact, that have brought our budget down. And I think that's a continuation of effort that will carry forward.
It isn't the heavy trays that make the job difficult, or the fast pace you need to keep up. It's not working another double because someone called in sick. What makes the job tough is the moment you realize a customer has had enough and you have to make that decision not to overserve. Refusing service isn't personal, it's the law. We know it's not easy, but we're counting on you